joining me on a rogue Saturday workday in my life. I will not be logging into Outlook. I will not be logging into my work laptop. That is shut and stowed away in its weekend compartment because we are all about setting boundaries here at Katherout Industries. And I'm actually going to take you through what my YouTube labor looks like since I'm not doing it full time, and honestly, just because I am amped today. Like, I am wired, and I really just finished my morning errands and was like, I just want to hop on here and connect with you all because it's not that often that I feel in this good of spirits. It's either because I saw a friend today and I'm just a through and through extrovert. I've never come to terms with how much my extroversion plays a part in my energy levels. Like, that really is where I find my energy's the highest, is when I'm with other people. And so seeing a friend was just so restorative and wonderful. We got brunch outside and then we went thrifting, and I literally have not felt this myself or this energetic since high school. And it's funny because the friend I went with, Clara, she's known me since literally middle school, so she's seen the full progression of my energy levels, and so she's like, this is nothing new for me. I'm fucking used to going out to breakfast with you and then you being hyper the rest of the day. But because I usually film work days in my life on weekdays, you're usually getting me in my corporate state of mind, which isn't exactly the most liberatory or freeing or most myself. So yeah, TLDR, it's not a true workday in my life. I am going to be doing work today. I have some YouTube stuff that I want to get done. But to let you in on a little insider secret, since we're going through my YouTube bag today, I figured I'd let you in on the inner machinations of my mind when I'm thinking about my YouTube strategy. There's not much to it. I try to keep this thing as grassroots as possible. I hate to use grassroots in that context, to be honest. That was definitely not praxis. But I know in my heart of hearts, if I just called this a weekend in my life vlog, it would not get the same viewership. And it's not even because it wouldn't have workday in the title. I honestly just think it's because we've established trust in this type of content, and so you pretty much know what you're getting from a workday in my life video. And so I think a lot more of you are willing to click on them because you feel a sense of almost return on investment. I'm so businessy today in a way I'm not trying to be. These are just my capitalist brain programming spitting these out. But there's trust in the follow through of this content, and so if I switched it up and named it something different, you would be like, wait, what am I going to get out of this content? And because I don't usually make weekend of my life vlogs, you probably wouldn't want to take the risk and click on it. A lot of you would, but I don't think the same audience would. And I do think everybody that watches the work days will still like to watch a weekend. It's just the title scheming of it. Half of YouTube is just marketing, unfortunately. And I thought I was going to go into marketing after college. Marketing is just marketing is all of the commercial part of creativity and none of the art. So to me, it sort of sucks the soul out of things. I wish I could just put together the video that I want to put together and send it out with no title and thumbnail. But I know that if I don't have the exact right title and thumbnail, no matter how good the video is, it could be my piece de resistance, it could be my magnum opus, and if I title it the wrong thing, it's just not going to get viewership. And I've talked about this with a couple other YouTubers, Tiffany Ferguson and I have gone back and forth on audio message about how fragile that is. And it really sucks to know that if you just don't get the marketing right, your video is not going to get seen because you have to basically sell your video to the algorithm. That's kind of how I think about the backside of YouTube. I don't know if everybody that does it full time thinks about it that way, but it kind of sucks the soul out of it a little bit is what I'm trying to say. But it's a big tech company. What are we expecting? Okay, moving right along. We're gonna move into what used to be our computer room in the house. Only 90s kids will remember. We literally had a whole room just dedicated to the computers. This is where I'd play Putt Putt Saves the Zoo. I would play Freddy Fish. I would play Zoo Tycoon in here. And now we've outfitted it into my mom's desk plus my sister's room when she comes home. I'm not a big fan of the styling, but it's my mom's styling. I can't insult it. It's not my taste, but I'll have my own opportunity in Seattle to work my shit, okay? So I don't need any judgment from the peanut gallery. This is my mommy's work. Okay. Gonna get my tripod, hold on. Alrighty. I'm excited to show you guys what I got. Sometimes I'm like, if these videos are gonna go up on the internet forever, I should probably put makeup on and like really put effort into my appearance, since these will never be deleted from the internet and anybody from any part of my life can see these. But then I'm like, this is the way I look like 90% of the time. This is the way that I feel comfortable going to brunch with a friend. This is the way I feel comfortable presenting to the world. Why would I not feel comfortable presenting this way on the internet? There is like that 10% of the time, like yesterday, I wasn't filming or anything, but I just kind of felt like putting on a little bit of makeup, so I did. But most of the time, like, I'm like this. So even though I know I could probably be more appealing, I don't care. I've settled with it. Alrighty. I'm not usually a thrifting girly. If you want a nice thrifting lifestyle girly, you gotta go to Lindsay Rem's channel, maybe Where I Live, maybe Lucy Massam, Alexa Sunshine 83, if you have any other thrifting girlies you enjoy, or people, okay? I kind of use girlies as an inclusive term now, but I know it's not actually inclusive, so identity politics check. Anyway, I'm not usually a thrifting girly because it stresses me out and it's really overstimulating, and you have to be in a very specific headspace to want to do that. And it takes a lot of commitment and it takes a lot of patience, and I also wear long sizes in most things, and so that tends to be hard to find in a thrift shop. But I scored big today. And this looks like a freaking boutique, because it is. It's a Goodwill boutique. What is that nonsense? What is that? It's in Menlo Park, and the reason I came here is because I'm doing a thrift swap with my bestie Sheridan, who lives down in LA. And so I was like, you know what? For my bestie Sheridan, I'm gonna go to the best Goodwill in the Bay Area that has the nicest shit, and all the Silicon Valley mommies drop all of their 90s Ralph Lauren here. I saw a cashmere Burberry sweater there. I saw Rag & Bone, I saw Aritzia, Madewell, Ralph Lauren, BCBG Max Azria, like crazy brands. And so we're gonna do a little try on haul because I like watching these a lot. First up, we have this Trencini that is immaculately fitting. It's slick, so I think it'll be waterproof. The sleeves somehow are long enough for me, which never happens. Like, I am just like so impressed with this whole situation, and I just think everything in that store is super 90s chic, which is kind of amazing. And it fits me super well. It is DKNY. That's that on that. Do people usually give prices in thrift hauls? Like, does it even matter because it's not like you can get the same piece at your thrift store? I don't know. I've been feeling kind of icky lately about buying things because I've been really overthinking what is technically overconsumption for me and what is like within reason. The whole vibe I'm going for in Seattle is kooky aunt. So art teacher aesthetics, very relaxed, but kooky. That's the best word I have for it, kooky. And I love this. I feel like Joanna Spicer has something similar to this. It's just this huge oversized like blouse. It's honestly perfect for like pottery, I feel like having this type of big situation. Like, this is just a good pottery studio type outfit. So I really like this. I may end up thrift gifting this to Sheridan because she could honestly rock this probably better than I could, but she is like 8 inches shorter than me and has yitties like 3 sizes bigger than mine, so this could work for the yitties, but I'm not sure about her height. We'll see. She can always just give it back to me when we see each other if she doesn't like it.
Yeah, this is very kooky.
Art teacher. Next up, this is an Aritzia find. My friend Clara saw this and immediately thought of it, and it's poopy. It's pee-pee poo-poo time. It looks like caca, and I vibe with it. It looks like if the color olive ate the color yellow and then pooped it out, of course. So yeah, it's from Wilfred, which is how I knew it was Aritzia, and I need sweaters, unsurprisingly, for the Pacific Northwest. I know brown is coming back, I don't know if this specific shade is coming back. I also think the lighting is doing weird things for it, but I like it. And I think that this will serve me well. The sleeves are long enough, which is like half the miracle for me. And I just like it, yeah. You can't tell me otherwise. I'm happy with it. Pee pee poo poo time forever, am I right, ladies? This one, originally, I was going for me. It's Maggie London, which is a brand I've never heard of, but this is the thrift store that, like, if the Big Little Lies cast lived a little bit further up the peninsula and not in Carmel, this is the thrift store that they would give all the shit to if they only wore it once. Like, everything here feels virtually unworn. Like, usually at a thrift store, it smells a certain way. There's a certain amount of wear and tear. I cannot visibly tell that any of these items have ever been worn on a human body for more than like 2 hours. Like, I swear to God, it's unbelievable. If you're in the Bay Area, this Goodwill, obviously the prices are a little bit inflated. Like, the Burberry sweater I saw was like $65, probably because it was like $800 originally. So I love this unbuttoned. I also might give this to Sheridan because I do have a similar blouse to this. Essentially, you button it up and then you do a little bow tie, if you know what I mean. I'm doing a crude version of this. Horrible effort. But you know the gist. It's like your 9th grade biology teacher. That's why it fit, because it's kooky teacher vibes. You can tell I'm a fucking nerd because my whole life I've always just looked up to teachers, and I have always just aspirationally wanted to become them because they were such icons to me. So this one goes out to my biology teacher, Miss Settle. Hope you're doing well, sweetheart. Then I ventured over to the men's section. This is like the piece I had on my intentional shopping list. I really wanted short sleeve button downs that I can throw over a top like this when I'm camping just to cover my shoulders, or over a swimsuit if I'm at the beach. Found 2 great ones in the men's section almost immediately, so thank you to Tommy Bahama and whatever gentleman dropped this off at the Goodwill. I love the way this makes me feel. This is exactly the Seattle vibe I'm going for. I'm headed to the brewery in this. I am headed to the grocery store in this. I'm going windows down in the Highlander, driving to the mountains in this. I love it. 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 Shout out men's section. The politics of thrifting are very interesting. I know that's hot and heavy in the discourse right now in terms of like taking clothes away from the folks that actually cannot afford to shop elsewhere, the gentrification of thrifting, if you will. I actually see this Goodwill, a lot of you may think like this Goodwill is the core example of gentrification of thrifting, but actually I'm gonna flip it on its head because I saw this really wonderful TikTok from this man who does a lot of like gentrification walkabouts in LA, and he was talking about the high rises in downtown LA being called yuppie fishbowls. And even though they're luxury apartments, it's actually a good thing because he said that those suck all of the yuppie, you know, high income, like finance, corporate employees into these high rises so that they do not scoop up houses and apartments in the area that are actually inhabited by local folks, and basically you quarantine all the people in one building so that they do not actually gentrify the surrounding neighborhoods. And that's how I see this thrift store. It is a magnet for the people that don't actually want to thrift because they need to. I'm obviously included in this category, but as people with disposable income that, you know, want to buy secondhand, like I'm doing it because I don't want to contribute to production, like new production of clothing when there's so much already out there. Like I want to thrift and I'm willing to pay these higher prices. So I see this Goodwill as like a yuppie fishbowl, so that the rest of the Goodwills can actually be shopped at by local community folks who rely on the affordability and the, you know, selection. Anywho, this is a North Face, and this is my camping outfit. I'm at the campfire, I'm making scrambled eggs, I'm chopping the wood, I'm going to mime school, I'm giving you a lecture about bear safety. We're talking about the intersectionalities of race and gender theory around the picnic table. Like, it's happening. It's happening. Love it. you can really feel the effects of my new wellbutrin prescription through the screen. And I could feel it in the goodwill because I was like hyped. I was singing along to 1,000 Miles and all of the wonderful Y2K music they had going on in there. And I couldn't tell if it was the extroversion hitting me or if it really was the wellbutrin. I think it's the wellbutrin because last time I started my wellbutrin prescription, I was like off the wall hyper for the first couple days. Like I actually wanted to go on a run, which is how out of my mind I was. Thanks for humoring me with a thrift haul because I know that's not usually my shtick. And that's that on that.
Feels like I've known you my whole life. I can see right through your eyes. I don't know where we're going, but I like to be by your side. If you could tell me how you're feeling, maybe we get through this undefeated. Holding on for so long.
Don't remember, you don't remember.
Anti-Zuckerberg.
Yes, I hate that man. He's evil.
Very cool.
He just bought up 600 acres in Hawaii.
Oh my god.
So that nobody can live there.
What's for his backyard?
Basically. And it's just like, okay, that's the last thing Hawaii needs. It's you taking over their land so that nobody can live there.
Larry Ellison did too.
Yeah, I know.
So one eye.
He's culpable.
They're throwing a party outside our house. A full mariachi has been playing for hours, but inside we're laughing 'cause it's so fucking loud. You started dancing, you never knew how. And there's just one thing I can't figure out. What were we doing if we weren't in love? If we weren't in love.
I mean, this really is an idyllic ass lifestyle. Like, I get why so many people aspire to be full-time content creators because it's a luxury, an unfortunate luxury, a capitalist luxury, to have autonomy and control over when you work. And I think that's a lot of what drives my revenge bedtime procrastination, is that I don't have ultimate control over when I work with my corporate job. I have more control than I used to when I was going into a physical office and like I was accountable to have my butt be in a chair from like minimum 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. every single day. Now it's like I'm working from home, so technically like no one can see if I actually log in at 8 a.m. or whatnot. But there's still an internalized, like I'm still internally policing myself when I'm working from home. Like if I go take a walk for an hour in the middle of the day to like clear my brain and delete my stress, like I literally feel guilt that I know I'm away from my work. And it really reminds me, like, being out here and getting to just decide I want to come read because I need to eat, I need to take a break from editing for a little bit, is that like it is such a luxury to be able to just control when you want to work. And it's like I felt motivated because of my Wellbutrin, because of my time actually spent socializing instead of being asocial, which I guess drained me more than I thought it did. Like I guess I thought I was a little bit more capable of being an introvert than I thought. Anyway, I came home very motivated. Like I wanted to not only edit, which is what I had on deck today, but I wanted to film this vlog. And like with YouTube, like you can just work when you feel inspired to or willing to or motivated to. You don't have to tie your ass down to a chair 40 hours a week, even though I think a lot of YouTubers, and Tiffany Ferguson did an immaculate, this is my second time mentioning her, also congratulations to her engagement. I was absolutely floored looking at that photo. It was the first photo of an engagement of someone that I know that I genuinely was just like, holy shit. Anyway, she made a beautiful video about why YouTubers stop uploading, and it's like a lot of them do self-police and impose this really rigid like production schedule on them, when it's like, honey, like the beauty of YouTube is like you could be working like 15 hours a week and making like bank, like the way that Kelly Stamps does it. Like it's, her lifestyle is like unbelievable to me because it's so different from the way I operate. But yeah, this is just so, it is so preferable to be self-employed in this way because you determine your workflow. And if I want to pick this up and do a bunch of stuff today, Saturday, from 2 to 7. I'm doing it because I want to, not because I'm like, I gotta work Saturdays. It's like, no, I don't have to work Saturdays. I take my weekends every single weekend. It's just that today I feel more willing to do this. And that means probably Monday, when I upload this next video I'm editing today, I won't work. And maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, I won't work on YouTube, and then I'll pick it back up on Thursday. Like, to be able to ebb and flow with your own creative drive is not something I take for granted, because I have been on the other side of the coin, and I continue to be on the other side of the coin. And I'm in a corporate role. It's white collar, right? So it's completely different than any type of service job, blue collar work. Like, I totally understand that even looking at my corporate job, that's a very privileged form of labor to most. Here's what I'll say about YouTube, because a lot of people just think it's like the easiest thing in the world. It is labor. Like, it is labor. I'm not going to say it's not a job. It's labor. It takes work. It's not just breezy, easy. There's stress involved. Like, it's labor. It's just not hard labor. Like, it is not extremely taxing, difficult, immensely complex work. That's what I'll say about it. Like, in terms of the types of labor, it's not the most ridiculous. So that's my little reflection. Clearly this book just stirs up some introspection in me.